On news as tonight. ACF warns against alleged move to undermine Dangote refinery. Nigerian teachers decry neglect as world celebrates their day. 179 dead as cholera outbreak worsens in Zamfara. And on the foreign scene, South Africa probes ambassador's death in France. Hello, good evening. Welcome to News and Trust TV. I am Mariam Idris. The Arewa Consultative Forum, ACF, has expressed alarm over what it described as a deliberate plot by vested interests to cripple the operations of the Dangote Petroleum Refinery. In a statement signed by its National Publicity Secretary, Prof. T.A. Muhammad Baba, the Northern Social Political Group warned that such actions threaten Nigeria's economic stability and global investment reputation. The ACF said the refinery, described as Nigeria's largest and most modern indigenous crude oil processing outfit, has faced an unrelenting onslaught since inception, ranging from regulatory bottlenecks and crude oil supply disruptions to labor union disputes. According to the forum, entrenched interests are uncomfortable with the refinery's potential to reform Nigeria's petroleum supply chain, which has for decades been plagued by subsidy fraud and inefficiencies. The body condemned alleged attempts to pressure refinery workers into joining Pengassan, calling it coercive and unconstitutional. It backed Alhaji Aliko Dangote's legal efforts to safeguard the facility from industrial disruptions, noting with dismay that the union had allegedly defied a subsisting court order restraining its interference. Aligning with recent calls by Senators Adams, Ashomole, and Muhammad Ali Ndomi, the ACF urged labor unions to allow the refinery to stabilize before pursuing unionization. The forum cautioned that moves to destabilize the multi-billion-dollar project could undermine investor confidence and damage Nigeria's business climate. Describing the refinery as a strategic national asset, ACF urged the federal government to grant it special protection under national security provisions by listing it in a national register of strategic assets. It further called for a judicial commission of inquiry to expose and sanction individuals or groups behind recurring industrial actions that disrupt critical industries. Now joining us via Zoom to discuss more on the story is spokesperson of Arewa Consultative Forum, ACF, Professor Tukur Baba. Thank you for joining us, Professor.
It's a problem with linkage.
Hello, Professor, we can hear you. Welcome to News Hour. Is Professor there? We have a little problem with the network,
video stopped. Oh.
Well, moving on. Residents of Kayoki and Merki villages in Batagara local government area have criticized a quarry and stone crushing company, Motor Angel, for damaging their houses and other buildings. Batagarawa is the closest local government area to Katsina, the capital city of Katsina State. The residents lamented that the company has been using dynamite and other explosives to blast stones for decades, without considering the plight of communities living nearby. Trust TV's Abdullahi Yamadi, who visited the affected villages, now reports.
Kayoki is just half a kilometer from Katsina on the Ura Road, while Marke is about 500 meters from the ancient city of Katsina off the Ura Road along the new Eastern Bypass, all within Batagarawa LGA. For more than 3 decades, residents of Kayoki and Marke have been living in fear and trauma, suffering in silence with no solutions to their predicaments. The sounds and vibrations from dynamite blasts, stone crushers, and dust emissions have negatively affected the health, livelihoods, and social well-being of residents. Explosives often scatter stones that hit locals, animals, and rooftops, causing both social and economic hardship. Cracks are visible on houses, shops, and other structures across the villages, but the company has repeatedly ignored their complaints.
Sakamakon da wannan buga nakiya da ake yi ƙarai ya sa bangayen duk sun tsatsage.
One day, we felt a strong vibration, followed by a loud blast that collapsed our house. My child and I were injured and hospitalized. In the past, they used to announce the blasting time so we could prepare. But now, it happens without warning.
Lokacin da aka ce za a buga ta, za ka ji kasai ta yi gar ta yi vibration kanin can ka ji kare.
Since the company's arrival, they took over our farmlands, promising to compensate us. But to this day, we have not been paid a single dime, even after destroying our only means of livelihood. Hundreds of families say their businesses and farming activities around the quarry sites have collapsed as a result of the ongoing blasts. Kawiki and Marike each have over 5,000 residents living side by side with the quarry for decades. The company operating just a few meters from their homes. Feeling abandoned, the villagers say they have repeatedly reported the situation to authorities, but nothing has come out of their complaints. Now, they are urging the Batagarawa local governments and Kaduna state authorities to urgently intervene and save them from the company that has inflicted lifelong hardship and trauma on their communities.
Sunana Mudassir Ibrahim Kayuki.
My name is Mudassir, chairman of the Amalgamated Unions in Kayuki village. The activities of the company have disrupted all our businesses. Today, our livelihoods have collapsed.
I
am the representative of our village head. We have been submitting complaints to the company, but up till now, nothing has been done. Many of our people are also falling sick from the dust generated by the quarry.
Amma sun zo mun fara bi da inda gine-gine ya dan shafa.
The quarry company, Motor Angel, supplies gravel and stone dust to multinational construction firms handling the Kano, Kazauri, Daura, Katsina, Maradi railway project. Residents insist their complaints are ignored, forcing them to endure suffering as the new normal. When contacted, officials of Motor Angel told Trust TV News to seek clearance from their Kazora office in Jigawa State before speaking with anyone in Kaduna. The company further barred journalists from filming at the site, insisting that residents had already been compensated adequately. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Kaduna.
Now, a mass movement of residents has hit Oroago community in a Repodun local government area of Kwara South Senatorial District following rising insecurity in the area. From Saturday morning till evening, scores of residents were seen relocating, citing spades and kidnappings and killings across the senatorial district. Security reports reveal that both indigenous and Fulani groups were fleeing to safer destinations in different vehicles. Traders and market women were also part of the exodus. The development comes days after the killings of the chief David Oladepo Aina, Bale of Oyadeto and owner of Kebe Hotel, who was shot dead by armed bandits during the attempted abduction in Arago on September 25, 2025. Efforts to reach the spokesperson of the State Police Command, SP Adetone Ejire Adeyemi in Ilorin on Sunday were unsuccessful. Meanwhile, the Oloro of Oro Kingdom, Oba Joel Titiloye, cautioned politicians against politicizing the worsening security situation, stressing that it calls for sober reflection. He noted that Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak administration has demonstrated commitment to confronting criminal elements with support to security operatives at the front line. The monarch urged renewed vigor and collaboration among stakeholders to end the menace and restore peace. Now let's go back to the spokesperson of Arewa Consultative Forum, ACF, Professor Tukur Baba. Thank you for joining us, Professor. Professor, are you with us? Well, moving on. At least 27 people were killed on Saturday when heavily armed bandits launched a deadly attack on communities in Nyagba West local government area of Kogi State. A military source confirmed the incident on Sunday, describing the assailants as heavily armed and equipped with sophisticated weapons. Nyagba West, the home and local government of Sunday Karimi, who represents Kogi West Senatorial District and chairs the Senate Committee on Services, has recently come under a series of deadly bandit attacks. For instance, on Friday, bandits struck early in the morning in Bereke Egbe, Nyagba West local government area of the state. The assailants targeted a residential home around 2 a.m., abducting a woman and her 2 children. Now, the federal government, through the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, has intensified collaboration with state governments and security agencies to tackle the growing menace of illicit small arms and light weapons across Nigeria. The Northeast Zonal Director, Major General Abubakar Adamu, retired, led a delegation to Taraba State on Saturday, where he met with Governor Abu Kefats and other key stakeholders to deepen cooperation on arms control and community sensitization. Speaking during a courtesy visit to the government house in Jalingo, Adamu said the partnership with governors was crucial to addressing the spread and misuse of illegal weapons. He explained that the center is working with security agencies and other stakeholders nationwide to recover and destroy illegal weapons. He added that the federal government had mandated the center to prosecute individuals involved in arms trafficking and fabrication. Several travelers were killed and abducted on Friday evening when heavily armed bandits attacked commuters along the Mayenchi Anchor Road in Zamfara State. Eyewitnesses said the gunmen laid siege to the busy highway, stopping vehicles and forcing passengers into the surrounding bushes. One survivor, Malam Muhammad Ahmad, recounted how his colleague, Abubakar Lawali Sardauna, was shot dead after resisting abduction. As of press time, the number of victims could not be confirmed, as efforts to reach the Zamfara State Police Public Relations Officer DSP Yazid Abubakar were unsuccessful. The Mayanchi Anchor axis has long been a hotspot for bandit attacks, with residents and motorists repeatedly calling for intensified patrols and security presence to restore safety along the volatile route. Troops of the Nigerian Army and 6th Division have dismantled 8 illegal refineries, arrested suspects, and recovered about 18,000 liters of stolen crude oil in the Niger Delta. Acting Deputy Director of Army Public Relations, Lieutenant Colonel Enju Majuna, disclosed this in a statement issued in Port Harcourt on Sunday, noting that the success was recorded during a 2-week raid across 3 states in the region, using both kinetic and non-kinetic operations. According to the statement, troops also deactivated several pieces of equipment used by all thieves, including receivers, ovens, drums, and pipes in a related operation in Akwa Ibom State. Soldiers intercepted 2 Toyota Camry cars transporting 120 nylon bags filled with more than 3,600 liters of illegally refined automotive gas oil along the Ikot Okoro axis in Abak local government area. The General Officer commanding GOC 6th Division, Major General Emmanuel Emaka, commended the troops for their resilience and warned criminal elements in the region to desist from economic sabotage. He stressed that under his watch, the Army will continue to safeguard natural resources, ensuring, in his words, that our forests remain green and our waters blue. Now, not fewer than 9 suspected cattle rustlers have been arrested by the Jigawa State Police Command at the 2 different locations in the state. Spokesperson of the State Police Command, SP Shisulawal, revealed this in a statement issued to journalists in Dutse, the state capital, on Sunday. He said that the suspects were apprehended in Hadejia and Oyo local government areas of the state after the police received an intelligence report. SP Lawal explained that a dark green tinted glass golf wagon vehicle, a Volkswagen bus, 4 cows, 2 goats and 1 sheep were recovered as exhibits from the suspects. Now, many parts of Calabar have been overflowed as a result of the continual rainfall on Sunday. Most parts of the 2 metropolises of Calabar Municipality and Calabar South local government area have been affected. Areas such as 8 miles in Calabar Municipality between Agrofield Market to Coldroom, Ikot Enebong, Ikot Nkebere, Atimbo axes are also affected. On Saturday, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency NIMET predicted that Cross River and 15 other states will be flooded from today for 3 days. NIMET also expects continual morning rains and isolated thunderstorms in the state. As the world celebrates the World Teachers' Day, the rift between the state government and the Nigerian Union of Teachers continue to widen as the Kaduna State Chairman of the Nigerian Union of Teachers, NUT, Ibrahim Dalhatu, reaffirmed the union's stance on the 21-day ultimatum given recently to the Kaduna State government over the minimum wage. Speaking to commemorate the Teachers' Day in Kaduna, Dalhatu stated that if the Kaduna State government fails to address the issue, the union will shut down primary and secondary schools across the state. The report.
Recognized by the UNESCO and its partners, World Teachers' Day is observed every year on October 5th to honor teachers and to reflect on the conditions they need to excel in their profession. In Nigeria, teachers are faced with different challenges, which including the lingering issue of minimum wage. The Teachers Union in Kaduna had given the state government 21-day ultimatum to implement the minimum wage, although the time is yet to elapse, but they maintain its stance during the World Teachers' Day celebration in Kaduna.
This new minimum wage was agreed since almost January last year, and is yet for our teaming primary school teachers to enjoy this minimum wage. Even the one that has been done to secondary school is partially implemented. What we are calling for the government to do is let the government implement the minimum wage to our teaming primary school teachers together with its consequential adjustment. And even that of secondary school, the one that has been implemented partially, let the government implement the consequential adjustment for it.
When you have a demand and it is not met, you formalize your demand by writing an ultimatum. And it is the provision of the Labour Law, particularly Trade Dispute Act of 2010. So what they are doing, I think, is apt. As Labour leaders, we have a constituency. And when we have a demand on behalf or representing our constituency, and it is not met, we have that singular responsibility and mandate to press home our demand using the provision of the law.
The Kaduna State Commissioner of Education, Professor Sani Sambu, appealed to the union for more time.
We told them what we were doing, and they told us what they are expecting, and we pleaded to them to give us more time so that things will improve.
The Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, Hadiza Balarabi, told teachers that the administration of Governor Ubasani would continue to build schools, improve education, as well as enhancing the capacity of teachers.
The Obasani-led administration in Kaduna State is determined to improve the quality of education and the welfare of our teachers. We recognize that when teachers are empowered, our children flourish and our society prospers. This is why His Excellency recently resolved the lingering dispute, as was mentioned by the chairman of Endwell. Further, in July this year, Kaduna State, in collaboration with the UK government through the FCDO Plane Program, hosted the International Education Summit, CADA EduPact 2025. The summit, which held from 9th to 11th July, was a bold step to redefine the future of education in our state, with teachers as the central drivers of that future. We are also working to improve learning conditions across basic, secondary, and tertiary levels. We are expanding infrastructure, increasing access, and carrying out reforms that will make teaching easier, more impactful, and more rewarding.
The theme of this year's World Teachers Day is recasting teaching as a collaborative profession. Trust TV News Kaduna.
In a similar story, the Nigerian Union of Teachers, NUT, has issued a strong appeal to governments at all levels to address the persistent crisis in the nation's education sector. The call was made during the World Teachers' Days celebration at Eagle Square, Abuja, where the union urged renewed commitment to education financing, teacher welfare, recruitment, and full implementation of wage and policy reforms directly impacting classrooms. According to NUT President Audu Titus Amba, adequate financing is critical to the functionality of any education system. He noted that despite global benchmarks recommending 4 to 6% of GDP or 15 to 20% of public expenditure be invested in education, Nigeria continues to fall behind. The union lamented that budgetary allocations have been consistently inadequate, restricting teachers' recruitment, school maintenance, and professional development. This, he said, has been compounded by the failure of states and the FCT to access over 54 billion naira in matching grants from the Universal Basic Education UBE program as of March 2024. Now, this is the news on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. 179 dead as cholera outbreak worsens in Zamfara. More news to come when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news hour on Trust TV. Now let's take a recap of our major stories again. ACF warns against alleged move to undermine Dangote refinery. Nigerian teachers decry neglect as world celebrates their day. Now moving on to more stories. Private schools in Nigeria have increasingly become a lucrative business venture, attracting entrepreneurs eager to profit from the growing demand for quality education. In recent years, the sector's profitability has led to a surge in number of private schools nationwide as more investors seek to tap into the expanding education market. However, for a Jos-based educationist, Sheikh Musa Ibrahim, popularly known as Sagagi, education is not a business, but a lifelong mission to uplift humanity. The report.
Unlike many proprietors driven by profit, the octogenarian resident of Gangare community in Josno local government area of Plateau State established the College of Islamic Studies with a singular vision to provide affordable education for children from low-income families. Initially founded to promote Islamic education, the institution has since expanded to include a science college, NCE programs, and a college of community midwifery, now serving students from diverse social and religious backgrounds. Despite owning these schools, Sheikh Musa Ibrahim still resides in his ancestral home, a property he partly sold to keep the institutions running. The house I live in was inherited from my father, but because of the daily expenses of running the school, including teachers' stipends and other costs, I had to sell part of it to keep the school afloat. I even sold my personal house for the school's survival. My teachers don't have fixed salaries. We share whatever little the student can pay. When there is no payment, I sell my belongings or borrow money to cover expenses until I can repay. Thousands of people have benefited from Sheikh Sagagi's generosity. Many say they will forever remember his sacrifice and dedication to the growth of others. Sagagi introduced us to both Islamic and Western education here in Jos. I am one of his beneficiaries. I graduated from his school and he personally sponsored my diploma and degree at Ibu Zaria in 1989. He also helped many students gain admission into higher institutions in Sokoto, Katsina, Maiduguri, and Bauchi. Despite opposition, his mission was always to educate children from poor families. To me, he is a true hero.
I'm a living witness. He sold part of his house, a Hijrat house in Gangare, and also 2 of his lands to ensure that the school runs as he wishes, and also to pay some debts. And also he usually borrow money to see that the people's and also the students' learn. By and large, he usually also try as much as possible if he's contacted with some offers. What will amaze you is that all his children, there's no single person that he gave that offer. He gave it to his students. And now they are lecturers in the universities. Some are working with the government and some are in the private sectors.
When asked about his greatest achievement in the over 4 decades of service, Sheikh Sagagi humbly points to the lives he has transformed. Our goal is to make knowledge accessible to everyone because education drives economic growth and strengthens democracy. Many judges today are graduates of this school. There is no university in northern Nigeria where you won't find at least one lecturer or doctor who passed through here. I can't even count the soldiers, police officers, and other paramilitary personnel who are our products.
Very wonderful. Lecturerorinmu na jami'a duk northern Nigeria ba university da zaka je ba doctor daga CIS. Sojoji ban san iyakacin su ba.
Sheikh Ibrahim's journey in education began with a modest Islamic school focused on Quranic studies. Over time, he broadened his vision to include Western education, combining science, art, and technical learning. Today, more than 2,500 students are enrolled across his institutions, a testament to one man's enduring commitment to human development over personal gain. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Moving on, Nigeria's senior citizens have called on the federal government to implement a comprehensive social security policy to safeguard their welfare in old age in line with global standards. Habibat Ajayi reports.
Every 5th day of October is dedicated to celebrate the National Day of Older Persons in Nigeria, a day set aside to recognize the contributions and challenges of senior citizens across the country. The commemoration of this year comes amid growing frustration among retirees, following a series of protections across ministries, departments, and agencies over the non-payment of pensions and gratuities. Many believe the functionary social security system would provide the needed protection for older citizens and help restore dignity in retirement.
I could remember Senior Citizens Bill was passed by the 8th Assembly in 2017. The National Assembly passed that bill, but it didn't receive presidential assent. But I'm not sure whether it has been represented to the 10th National Assembly. Since it didn't receive presidential assent, it's the 10th Assembly again now that will handle it.
Many Nigerians have expressed concern over the declining value and recognition given to older persons in society. They note that, unlike in the past when the elderly were respected as custodians of wisdom and tradition, today many senior citizens face neglect and marginalization.
We need them around us in terms of difficulties, for advice and for guidance. Because there's an adage that said that what an elderly person sat down and saw, no matter your age, if so far you've not crossed that level, you cannot be able to see it. So we need them around us for advice.
We are very important to advise. Like this morning, I saw a boy putting on earring. I called the boy's attention. I said, this thing, you are making yourself to look like a Yahoo boy. Remove this thing. It's not good for you. The boy removed it in my presence. He said, Mommy, I'm sorry.
They also emphasized how the environment and living conditions greatly affect the lives of senior citizens. Many explained that poor infrastructure, lack of accessible healthcare facility, and inadequate social amenities make life more difficult for the elderly.
Pulling them out from their comfort zone, I don't think it make any difference. Like for me, I would suggest if you can leave them where they are, just reconstruct the structure where they are in. If the case is no more habitable, reconstruct it for them than taking them from where they are. Because some people, if you pull them away from where they're already used to, they can easily die.
Nigerians are urging the federal government to give priority to the welfare and protection of senior citizens.
Take care of the elderly by paying them some stipends, providing them clothing, food, and some other things like medical attention as well, and leave them where they are. I think it's okay.
The federal government should come to our stand and know what to do about it. We need their support.
Our elder they suffer. Like we still strong like this, so they find what to eat. They go and hustle. Many of them, they are in the different village everywhere. Some of them, they live work and need money, they don't agree to pay them.
There are some societies, all these multinational corporations, the elderly people that worked at home, they consult, they call them if there is crisis. All these multinational corporations. But here, you go with your experience and die with the experience. So it's very sad.
Many believe, with effective policies and genuine government commitment, the dignity and well-being of elderly can be safeguarded, ensuring that their latter years are lived in comfort and honor. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The minority caucus in the House of Representatives will meet in Abuja on Monday over the leadership crisis threatening minority leader Kingsley Chinda. The move follows Chinda's legal action filed at the Federal High Court in Abuja to stop an alleged plot to remove him from office. In the suit, he argued that attempts to oust him reportedly linked to his perceived closeness with FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, were unconstitutional and violated his freedom of association. The case named as 12 defendants, including the National Assembly, the House leadership and opposition parties. Sources claimed discontented lawmakers accused Chinda of weakening the opposition by aligning too closely with the ruling APC and failing to convene caucus meetings since the 10th House was inaugurated. Critics also fought him for media remarks at odds with the PDP's position. The push to unseat Chinda is expected to intensify when the House reconvenes on Tuesday, October 7th. Now, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has dismantled 2 major cocaine cartels responsible for 6 United Kingdom-bound consignments, arresting the arrowhead of the syndicate, Alhaji Hamid Taufik Ode, and 5 others in a series of intelligence-led operations across Lagos State. NDLEA spokesperson Femi Babafemi said in a statement on Sunday that the operations, which lasted over 3 weeks, began on September 16th, when operatives intercepted 174 parcels of cocaine weighing 13.40 kg, concealed in cocoa butter body cream, containers at the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos. Further interceptions uncovered multiple consignments concealed in stainless cups, hair creams, and gel containers. One bust led to the arrest of a furniture maker, Smith David Korede, linked to at least 3 shipments. The agency also thwarted attempts to smuggle 6.3 kg of loud, a potent strain of cannabis from Thailand, seized 290,450 tramadol and pregabalin pills in Kano, and arrested several suspects across Lagos, Ogun, Osun, Kwara, Kaduna, Edo, and Abuja with large hauls of skunk, codeine syrup, nitrous oxide, and tramadol. In total, NDLEA operatives destroyed over 25,000 kg of cannabis on farms in Osun and Edo states, recovered 223.5 kg of processed cannabis, and intercepted drug parcels along major highways. Meanwhile, the agency continued its war against drug abuse, WADA, campaign with sensitization programs in schools, markets, religious centers, and communities across the country. The Imo State government has announced an immediate and total ban on all mining and dredging activities within the Owerri Capital Territory, citing years of unregulated operations that have caused devastating flood, soil erosion, and damage to critical infrastructure. Commissioner for Industry, Mines and Solid Minerals, Ernest Ebijiako, made the announcement during a stakeholders meeting in Owerri, stressing that uncontrolled sand mining had led to widespread environmental destruction. He disclosed that Governor Hope Uzodinma's administration, invoking Section 28 of the Land Use Act of 1978, has notified federal authorities and demanded the revocation of all mining licenses within the Capital Territory. Ebijiako commanded the Minister of Solid Minerals Development for sending senior officials to assess the situation, while warning that the state will strictly enforce compliance through the Nigerian Minerals and Mining Act of 2007. Despite earlier bans in 2017 and 2019, illegal mining and dredging had persisted. The commissioner vowed that defaulters will be prosecuted as part of efforts to safeguard the environment and restore stability to the state capital. Now, the Oloro of Oro Kingdom in Irepodun local government area of Kwara State, Oba Joel Titiloye, has cautioned politicians against politicizing the security challenges confronting the state. In a statement issued in Ilorin, the state capital, Oba Titiloye noted that insecurity in both the southern and northern parts of the state calls for sober reflection. He urged stakeholders to work with the government to de-escalate tensions and tackle the problem at its root. The monarch expressed concern that some individuals were attempting to make political gains out of the disturbing situation. He commended the governor, Abdurrahman Abdurrazak-led administration for showing commitment to rooting out criminal elements with the support of security personnel on the front line. Oba Titiloye stressed that available information confirmed the state government was not folding its arm in the face of the trend. Now, Kano sure knows how to entertain its guests, and this time, the ancient city played host to a gathering filled with nostalgia, pride, and purpose. Old students of Command Secondary School, Kaduna, under the banner of Come Kadusa, converged on the city for their 2025 annual general meeting with a theme centered on harnessing togetherness for sustainable growth. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim reports.
Delegates from across the country arrived in Kano for the Command Secondary School Kaduna Old Students Association annual general meeting. The event, held not just to meet old classmates, it's a celebration of unity and excellence holding in the heart of the Pyramid City.
Well, it was making it significant. This is the first time we're coming to the ancient city of Kano. And then this is the first time, instead of the normal 2 days we're using a 3-day. The first day was an opportunity for us to move around and see the city. Yesterday we were at the Emir's Palace, we were at the museum, and then went to Dala Hills. These are ancient landmarks that Kano has been known for. So it was an opportunity for some of us who who have not been to Kano. I've been to Kano a couple of times, but I've not had time to go to those places. So yesterday was an eye-opener, and then it was quite interesting.
You see, everything about Command Secondary School, Old Student Association, is a very serious business. Last year at the AGM in Benue, I had to bid to get this year's hosting rights, and Alhamdulillah, we are here hosting. And one key thing that has stand out for us is the unity, because no matter what you intend to do, if you don't have your team members work in unity with you, you would achieve nothing. And basically, this is what stands out for us.
Beyond the reunions and cultural showcases, the discussions focused on how old students can contribute meaningfully to their alma mater and inspire current students.
Basically, as the theme of this year's AGM for the Kamkadosa Old Student is enhancing our togetherness to see how we can improve ourselves. But most importantly is to look at how we can give back to the school. And it's also an opportunity of coming together. For most of us, some of us have not seen each other for almost 30 years. For some, even 40 years, depending on the set which you belong. So it's a great opportunity for once in a year, and it circulates from different states. Now we're in Kano, and hopefully next year we'll be in Kaduna, where the school is. So I think it's a great gathering, and we hope that we'll continue to foster the bond of unity among us, but also try to give back to the school that gave us the education that made us who we are today.
The event also recognized outstanding members who have excelled in their professions and made remarkable contributions to the growth of the association.
All right, so it is fulfilling knowing that one's effort is recognized, and appreciated. I want to thank the alumni and the Kano team, Kano chapter, who has found me worthy of this. Thank you.
I'm excited. I'm happy. It's a reward for dedication. It's a reward for trust and character. It's a reward for the efforts we have put in the association as a whole.
As the music of the Koroso dancers filled the air once again, one message echoed through the gathering. The spirit of command lives on, stronger together, determined to give back. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
Zamfara State has recorded 179 deaths from 12,052 suspected cases of cholera, representing a 1.4% fatality rate, lower than the national average of 3.3%. The Secretary to the State Government, Abubakar Muhammad Nakwada, disclosed this during a meeting with the State Public Health Emergency Operations Center, led by the Commissioner for Health, Nafisa Muhammad Maradun. According to him, the figure reflects the state's intensified response to the outbreak across all 14 local government areas. State epidemiologist Ahmad Muhammad Gusau said data from the National Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, showed that Zamfara maintained a lower fatality rate than most states, despite the high number of suspected cases. He attributed the improvement to effective case management strategies, activation of rapid response teams, and active surveillance, and the establishment of cholera treatment centers and oral dehydration points across the state. And in business, the Nigerian Exchange Limited All-Share Index and market capitalization appreciated by 1.02% and 1.31% to close the week at 1,403,584 basis points and 91.135 trillion naira market capitalization, respectively. Consequently, equities investors gained 1.175 trillion for the week under review. This is because the market opened for 4 trading days this week, as the federal government declared Wednesday, October 1st, as a public holiday to mark the Independence Day celebration. Similarly, all other indices finished higher with the exception of NGX Premium, NGX Insurance, NGX AFR, DIV Yield, and NGX Merry Value indices, which depreciated by 0.05%, 2.02%, 2.78%, and 0.81%, respectively, while the NGX SM and NGX Sovereign Bond indices closed flat. Meanwhile, a turnover of 8.40 1.3 billion shares worth 115.501 billion naira in 115.101 transactions was traded this week by investors. Now away from Nigeria. South Africa is sending a team of top investigators to French capital, Paris, to take part in the probe into the death of Ambassador Nathan in Temtwa. The 58-year-old body was discovered in the Yacht Regency Hotel's inner courtyard on Tuesday morning after falling from the 22nd floor. National Police Commissioner Fanny Masemola says 5 seasoned police officers will work with French investigators to support a thorough and transparent inquest. Mthethwa was reported missing by his wife on Monday after she received a worrying message from him. A French prosecutor told local media that in the note to her, he apologized and expressed his intention to end his life. While concerns have been raised about possible foul play, initial investigations suggest his death may have been a deliberate act. Now, thousands of rival demonstrators flooded Madagascar's capital, Antananarivo, on Saturday following days of deadly youth-led protests that have left at least 22 people dead and hundreds injured. According to the United Nations, pro-government supporters rallied in the city center, declaring they opposed any coup but demanded better job opportunities. Meanwhile, Gen Z-led anti-government protesters, angered by shortages of basic services, attempted to converge in the capital but were blocked by a heavy police presence. For days, the youth activists have been trying unsuccessfully to access Democracy Square, now cordoned off by police. Protesters advanced with hands raised, pleading for the right to speak out, but were met with shields. President Andry Rajoelina, who has dismissed the death toll, sacked his government earlier in the week while rejecting calls to resign, describing the unrest as an attempted coup. The escalating protests mark one of the most serious challenges yet to Rajoelina's leadership. And now in sport. World Football Governing Body FIFA has selected Chadian official Alhadi Alou Mohamed as a referee for next week's 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying match between Nigeria's Super Eagles and the Crocodiles of Lesotho. The matchday 9th encounter is billed for the new Peter Mokaba Stadium in Polokwane, South Africa on Friday, 10th October 2025, and will kick off at 6 p.m. South African time, 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Alao, who was also in charge for Nigerians' 1-2-0 win over Rwanda in Uyo in matchday 7, will work with compatriots Bagola Isa, Musa Hafiz, and Abdelkarim Osmane as fourth official. FIFA also appointed Kenya official Alice Damaris Kimani as referee assessor, while William Makinati Shongwe from Eswatini will be in the role of commissioner. Nigeria, presently 3 points off first place Benin Republic and second place South Africa, will go for an outright win to enhance their chances of reaching the 2026 FIFA World Cup finals, to be jointly hosted by the United States of America, Canada, Mexico next summer. This brings us to the end of the News Hour on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news. I am Mariam Idris. Thanks for watching.